Lighting is one of the most important aspects of your film. It's the main thing that makes Hollywood movies look cinematic. Zhiyun sent me their Molus G300 to test it out. And this is a 300 watt bicolor light with a temperature range of 2700 till 6500 Kelvin. And the great thing about this light is that it has a max mode that will allow you to go up to 500 watts of power. So a super dope feature that really came in handy. This video is not sponsored by Zhiyun, so no money exchanged hands, but I do get to keep this light. Anyway, everything I'm going to talk about in this video are my true and honest opinions. We're going more over the specs, the pros and the cons at the end of the video, but first we are going to put this light into use and we are going to create some nice, beautiful cinematic scenes with this amazing light. So for this first shot, I took inspiration from this scene from Creed 2, and this is the result. It actually looks a bit different because I used our windows as a backlight, and in this movie scene obviously there weren't any windows. First I thought I wanted to have some nice color contrast and use a warmer temperature on myself, but then I played around in the edit with my skin color and removed lots of the orange tones. And I feel like this monotone look suits the scene better. Let me know in the comments down below which one you prefer, the warmer or the cooler skin tones. And because I was exposing for the windows, I needed to decrease my exposure quite a lot. And that's when the max mode of this light came in clutch. The 500 watts of power to light the scene were really necessary because otherwise my shot was going to be underexposed. Please keep in mind that these fans can get pretty loud, especially at max mode or at, let's say, like 90%, 100%, and when it's been like running for a pretty long time. But that's something that you're going to hear for yourself a bit later in the video. The setup for this shot was pretty easy. I boomed the G300 with a 90 cm diameter softbox with the honeycomb grid above me. And then I set the power to max mode and I increased the temperature to like warmer tones. In post, I decreased the exposure in the bottom part of the image to emphasize the contrast, just like in this scene from Creed 2. But obviously in the shot from Creed, it's way better. They probably used a lot of negative field to decrease the spill of the light. Looking at this shot afterwards, I probably shouldn't have used a softbox because when I look at the shot from Creed, it's actually pretty clear that you can see the hotspots of the harsh lighting on his straps and on his back. So my lighting is way too soft in the scene that I shot. So I think using the reflector attachment instead of the softbox would have been a way better option. So I'm not 100% happy with how this shot turned out. The shot from Creed 2 just looks way better in my opinion, but we learn as we go, right? I mean, lighting is not a perfect science and you just have to keep on experimenting in all kinds of situations to see what actually works and what doesn't. And also I'm pretty sure that in the environment that they were shooting Creed in, they had like 100% control of all the lighting in the environment. So that's also a huge difference between what I shot and what they shot. The next couple of shots are shot in our bedroom. And this shot specifically is one that I really liked. Due to the space limitations, I couldn't get the shot exactly like in this example over here, but I think that we did a pretty good job in emulating this scene. So for this scene, I used the lamp as a practical light. I just put the G300 on a light stand right in front of me at an angle to make it look like the lamp was lighting me. The G300 was only at like 5% power or something. One thing that bothered me is that my head, the light, and the doorknob were pretty close next to each other, but I didn't really have much choice here because of the space limitations, of course. And then I tried a different setup by bouncing the light off of the wall, but I didn't really like the result. I feel like everything looked a bit too flat and too dark almost, so yeah, this wasn't a success. For the next shot, I wanted to pretend I was reading a book. The first shot was pretty okay, but my right side was a bit too dark in my opinion. To light up my right side, I took the Cinepeer CF100 tube light and dimly lit my right side, and I think that the shot looks way better like this. And this next shot right here is also one that I really love. I think the positioning of my camera could have been a bit better, but obviously space limitations. And these kind of top-down shots are usually pretty difficult to do yourself. If you have a Sony camera, you can use the Monitor Plus app, which really comes in clutch for situations like these, because when you're actually positioning yourself, it's also hard to see yourself on like a bigger monitor, for example, unless you have a wireless one. But the Monitor Plus app can connect with your iPhone or any phone or a tablet, and then you can easily monitor yourself while the camera is all the way up there. And you can even change your settings. So this is a really great app. And this is what a setup looked like. So pretty simple as well. I just had a C-stand and then a top-down shot of my camera above me. And then next to me, I had the G300 with a softbox and a honeycomb grid. And for the next shots, I wanted to create similar scenes like these. And I had this idea to cut like shapes into cardboard and then like put it in front of the light to make these kind of shapes. But unfortunately, that didn't really work out. To get these kind of shapes, you have to buy like an optical snoot or like a spotlight attachment for your light, and then you can make these like fake window like shapes right behind you, and that's really cool. And I really hope to add something like this to my kit later on. And I actually hope that Zhiyun might make something like this in the future, so that might be a great idea. So I wasn't able to do this, but I remembered something. Whenever the sun is hitting my desk like pretty hard and the blinds were like halfway down, then I got these pretty cool spots like hitting the back wall over here. And I was like, what can we do with this? And that's when I got the idea to experiment with creating a fake sunlight. So in this first shot, my blinds weren't all the way down. And because of this space of the blinds and the still open window, it created this cool rectangular space of light onto the ground. And I thought it would have been a pretty cool shot to just lay in that spot of light, and I think it turned out pretty cool. But thinking about it afterwards, I maybe could have closed the blinds down a bit further, and then the rectangular shape would have been even smaller, and I think that would have made the shot even cooler. But that's something for next time. Anyway, this shot was pretty dope. So this is what the setup looked like. So I just put the G300 on a light stand like at the outside of my window, and I just blasted it on max mode with the reflector dish right inside of my desk. For this next shot, I just wanted to have a pretty cool shot of me working at my desk with all the cool spots in the background. For this shot, I also used the haze machine to make the light denser and to really have these light rays going on and coming out from the window. So that was really cool. And for this next shot, I just used the G300 as backlight for this pretty cool contrasty scene. And I put this little light right behind me to give me like this little edge effect, like that I wasn't pitch black. So I've been using this light for like half an hour at like 7%, and the fans just started kicking in. I mean, they were noticeable for me, but I don't think the mic captured it. But anyway, they just started kicking in for like 1 minute and then they just stopped. So just so you know. So that was it for the lighting breakdown, and now we're going to quickly talk about the technical specifications, the pros and the cons of this light. I really love the fact that you have a 7.5 meters long cable for if you want to put up your light really high. And also the light is just really compact and lightweight, which makes it very easy to rig it up pretty high on a C-stand, for example, and it's actually 1/4 of the size of a comparable traditional studio light of its same power capacity. So that's pretty insane. The light can also be used with an app, just like you saw before, so that's really useful as well. The light also has a live mode feature, which enables you to turn on all of your Zhiyun lights at the same time. And I also really love that it has 14 different lighting effects. Alright, so these were all the pros, but not everything is perfect about this light. First and foremost, the 2700 till 6500 Kelvin range is pretty okay, but it could be better because there are lights which go all the way up to 10,000 Kelvin. I mean, not that I specifically need something like this, but it's just that you know. So something to keep in mind is that whenever you want to use it at max mode, the light will automatically change its temperature to 4300 Kelvin. The other temperature ranges are also a bit lighter, but not as light as at 4300 Kelvin, so keep this in mind. There are no options to use a battery mount, and I think that this really sucks. Because I was actually thinking about using this light outside, but I couldn't even use like V-mount batteries, for example. But if I want to do this, I need to buy a pretty powerful power station that has an output of at least 300 watts. So that's something to keep in mind as well. A pretty tiny yet very annoying thing, in my opinion, is that this light doesn't come with a case. So Zhiyun expects you to keep the box that it came in and just transport your light in there. And they probably did it to like cut the cost, and I get it because this light isn't very expensive at all for what you get, but it's still pretty annoying. And I just hoped and wished that they just gave you the option to get that additional storage bag. Now, one of my biggest annoyances of the G300 and other Zhiyun lights that you can control with the app is the fact that you can't control the lighting effects through your app. So every time you want to change some kind of lighting effect, you will have to do that through the controller, and I think that really sucks. And I really hope that Zhiyun can add this feature in a potential future software update. Alright, so I just switched over to the shotgun mic, so you can actually start hearing the sound of the fans of the light going on and off. Or maybe you won't, so let's see. So right now we're shooting at 7%, this is at 20%, this is at 30%, 40, 50, 70, 80, 100%, and the fan started going. Maybe I need to change the direction mode of the shotgun mic, so now it should start pick up all of the sounds coming around the mic. The fan started ramping up. And now let's put the light into max mode. There we go, this is max mode. And now the shotgun mic is like 1 meter away from the light itself. Not really sure if you can hear the fan, and this is when I stand like really next to it. So this is like 20 centimeters or something. And now the fan above. Because both the light itself and the control unit have these fans. So even though the fans are pretty audible to the ears, I'm not really sure that the mics are going to pick up the sound. And especially because you have all these voice isolation features in Davinci Resolve, in Premiere Pro, and even Final Cut, I think. So I don't think it matters that much. Especially if you have like mics that are really directed towards your face or towards your chest. So right now it's picking all the sounds. So let's change the pickup pattern again, and maybe all of a sudden you don't hear any of the fan noise anymore. So this light sells for $600 or 650 euros. If you're interested in getting this light for yourself, and I would highly recommend you to do so, you can get 10% off with my discount code down in the description below. Let me know in the comments down below if you are getting this light and if you thought the lighting breakdown was useful, because I honestly want to really get better at lighting and actually master lighting myself, so you'll probably see more lighting breakdowns and videos in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Come out. Peace!